Hello and welcome back to the Kerbal Space program. My name is WWEdeadman, but you already know that. Looky look. 0.24x64. Official 64-bit build shit. Okay, also new. First of all, we've got some new stuff here, as we now have the ability to take each and every logo of all the in-game companies. I'm gonna go ahead and take my old flag. And now we have Sandbox Science, which is the career mode as it was before, and Career, which now has Funds and Reputation. Just to show that off real quick with a default save, we're gonna start a new one and all that cool shit. In any way, we start off with 10,000 funds. We start off with no reputation and no science. And now this little thing here is open. Hey, Gene. Gene Kerman is our man in mission control who will tell us what contracts we have to be done. Also, we have completed, failed, and cancelled contracts over here, and we have active contracts here, which the first contracts are not randomly generated. They are switching to procedurally generated contracts as you go. That these first are scripted in. So that's just the world record society wanting you to launch a vessel and set an altitude record of 5,000 meters, which are pretty much the most basic things you could do. You just go ahead, go in, and do that. Oh yeah, obviously the little bug feature with the changing screen is still a thing. So we do also the angle here did kind of change, and the flag is on this side now. So now we build the thing the way we will have it on the launch pad then. This is just going out straight this way. Yeah. This runs so smoothly. As you see now down here, we have this will cost us funds. We have now the symmetry options and the angle snap over here, and the center of mass, center of thrust, center of lift here. What I do want to add here, just to make sure that this works. Come on. Yay. And a few more of these couldn't be too bad, could that? Instructions unclear. Come on. Get on there, and you get on there. Of course, we want to check our staging. We don't want to have the same failure we did in our most recent career mode, where we ended up losing our first Kerbal on the first launch. Yeah. We still have our reset button here now embedded on this thing here. That is a toolbar, as you probably know it from the other save, from my modded save. Also, they updated a little bit of this here. Now the action groups have this, and the parts have this symbol. Crew still has this symbol. We're gonna take Jebediah for this flight. It is not a whole lot of a flight, so we don't really need to do anything here. Yeah, no new parts on the first tech, as far as I see. So yeah, just launch this thing. And now we have funds and reputation and science here. The resource panel that we previously had here. That's the contracts and that's messages. We're gonna leave the contracts open, and you're gonna see the first one just go right away when we... Oh yeah, the throttle is now automatic on half throttle. You're gonna see this contract go away right away since we launched a new vessel. See? Also, you're gonna see that our stuff here went up and we have a completed contract, which you can just close or delete. As you're gonna see, when we hit 5,000, which should easily be doable by just going up, go in a little bit, because we wanna stay in the general vicinity of the Kerbal Space Center, and I'm gonna show you. You just saw that, probably. You can go back if you didn't. We've reached the height. I'm sorry if I sound a little bit hyper, but I've been riding the hype train in the forums up to this point, and it's actually 11:30 p.m. where I live. So yeah, that's a thing. Just with a solid rocket booster, we just went all the way up here to 11,000 meters, and now we can open the parachutes and do a little bit of time acceleration down. And then, oh, okay. Leave that on. Because obviously that thing wants to flip over a little bit. Okay, keep fast forwarding till we're about 800 meters up, just to be sure. I'm gonna land on top of the fucking VAB, as it seems. I'm so gonna land on the fucking edge of it, and it's gonna just, and my ship is gonna fall down. I'm seeing that coming already. Fall past? Good rocket. Oh god. How close can you stick a landing? Oh, also I'm inside the VAB. Clipping error. That's what you call sticking a landing. Right in front of the door. And everything survived. And why did I make sure everything survived? Also, we're gonna get a crew report from here, from KSC. Why did I make sure that everything survived? Then we're gonna see that when I recover this vessel. If I only had put the one parachute and none of those girders, then the booster would have broken. We've got, of course, the science, which is 1.5 science from the crew report and 5 science from recovering a vessel that survived the flight. Also 5 science from the contracts. Or, 6.5, 11 minus 6.5, that's what we earned with the contracts. Then, we've got here, we can click parts or just next. We've recovered the parts. And all of that is going to be refunded, as you see. At least we get back most of the stuff. We have a little bit of a wearing off on the command pod, obviously. All in all, if you land on the runway with a SSDO plane, for instance, you're gonna get everything back. And then we get the crew back, of course, which gives us a lot of reputation for not killing him. Yeah, that's this. That's pretty much what's new in the career. When you now go in here, you get a lot of stuff. You get to test stuff like the R10 solid fuel booster in flight over Kerbal. You just need to make sure that you do that at the right altitudes and right speeds and everything. Same thing for the Mark 16 parachute or the stacked decoupler. That's all testing, then altitude records, escape the atmosphere, orbit Kerbal. That's all stuff that you can do, and that's all stuff that we are gonna do when I start the career on this. So I'm not gonna do any more of this right now. As you see, we still can fast forward here. I don't think anything has really changed in here. No. Standard KSP, as you see. And still the whole... wow, E-Class and stuff. Wow. Okay, that's still spawning. Nothing else apart from... Did they... No, they didn't change that. Elo's orbit was always that weird, wasn't it? Yeah. Okay, in any way, that's that. We still have all that stuff where it belongs. By the way, if you recover debris that does not have a space probe attached to it, you're not gonna get anything back from that. Also, if you stage something inside the atmosphere, it still disappears if it goes out of the 2.5 kilometers rendering distance. Yeah. Nothing new in this. Hey, we have the stack decoupler. I think that's actually... Is that a thing sooner than it was? Well, we don't really have anything different here. That's the same stuff we've been having at this stage. We're gonna see how much really changes about those once we do the whole thing. Yeah, we can have a look in here. We've still got our Kerbals to choose from. And we don't actually have to pay them. So that's a thing. Spaceplane hangars still same. I don't think they changed anything in here. Maybe they moved the flag a little bit to the right. I don't know. Maybe that's a little of a new texture. I don't know. I didn't never actually look at that much. But yeah, that's that. And apart from that, we of course did have some parts added, which I can't show you here, which is why I'm going to see you in a sandbox mode in a second. Oh, and before we go, if you now click on menu here, you have the game name here. You have resume game, we have save game and load game. Yeah, you now have multiple quick saves. Which apparently was a thing already if you like Alt F5'd or something. I don't know. I never even used that. In any way, now you can just escape and save game and load save. So you don't have to do that anymore. See you in the sandbox in a second. Okay, we're in the sandbox mode. What I did not show you either. Now if you have the debug mode up, which has the whole cheat thing here, you have gameplay tweaks. And you now can allow and not allow quick saving and quick loading. You can allow or not allow revert to editor launch. You can set lost crew to respawn or not. And you can allow stock vessels in career mode or not. So I'm gonna actually check these two off because we're not gonna use those. Ignore agency mindset on contracts, also a thing that is probably connected to the yeah. Contracts are also in here for some reason. Okay. And the database. So the debug tool actually has a lot of stuff added to it instead of only having that debug thing that we don't actually need because that's a developer thing. But hey, 2 new parts were added. And I'm actually gonna show you those 2 by building a little rocket out of them. We are gonna have a we're gonna have the big frickin' RCS fuels. And then we're gonna have a little bit of that. And then we're gonna make sure that this comes back down without a problem. By giving the decoupler in here. Decouple. By the way, they also did fix the 3.75 meter decoupler, apparently. At least that's what they said they did. So now, we of course usually would have a SAS module here. Or actually under the decoupler, but hey. Now, this is the Werner engine. Why is that under the RCS? Because it's an RCS engine that uses actually normal fuel. So if you do this, you're gonna have thrusters on each side that are actually gonna act like normal RCS thrusters, but use the fuel in here. On the other hand, we have the O10 monopropellant engine, which, if we add these here, and probably copy those in here for a second, and a third. That's a lot of engines, I know, but you know what I want to try to tell you here is those things are not very much of a thing you really want to use much, but because, you know, looking at the thing here, it's got a maximum thrust of 20. It's got an ISP of 220 to 290, so that's about, you know, the efficiency of one of these, or even less. More like one of these, yeah, 220 to 290. So those are essentially those engines with more thrust and using, yeah, those are actually engines between those two. That's thrust of those, engine ISP of those, and using monopropellant instead of regular fuel. We're just gonna launch this thing right away with, of course, our 3 Kerbals here in it. So thing is, those monopropellant engines, they do not react to monopropellant stuff here. But if you activate RCS and we bring up the resources tab, if I now say thrust here, I thrust with liquid fuel and oxidizer, I don't actually have an H and N thrust because those are singular direction thrusters, which are really only there to make very big craft actually usable. Like if it is going out of balance a lot, then this is gonna work. Now I turn RCS off, just the SAS on, and do full throttle, and now I press enter to space to stage. Those work like normal fuel engines, but they use RCS, as you see, monopropellant. Also, the monopropellant tanks still drain all at the same time. As you see, this thing actually has a pretty nice thrust-to-weight ratio. There's still stuff lying around in this safe from my fucking New Year's Eve rocket. As you see there. Yeah. So now if I'd say RCS on and we stop going in that direction, look how actually they are pretty high in thrust, engines that actually use those RCS engines. Those actually have a different ISP too, based on where they are. How high do we go with that? Pretty high, actually, almost out of the atmosphere. So a lot of these do a lot of stuff, but you see, with a skipper engine, we would have gone higher, and the same amount of fuel would have brought us more. So those are not really the thing to use for launches or something, but, you know, RCS off staging. Thing is, I'm doing that. That's not the game. In case you were wondering, yeah, that's the RCS. That's a lot. The SAS has a lot of torque. And anyway, yeah, that would be the new stuff in this update. I think we're done. Yeah. We've got the two new parts. We've got funds and reputation and contracts. And that's actually the whole thing about this update. It's called first contract for a reason. That was actually the whole deal behind this update, was the improvement of the KU mode. So yeah, we have that. As I said, the two new parts, and I think that's it. Yeah. We just need to start our career. And we're gonna do that as soon as I make sure that we actually have access to the following modifications. Because I don't want to play a completely unmodded game just because most of these are just visual enhancements anyway. So I want to have, for my modded playthrough of this, hot rockets, cool rockets, environmental visual enhancements with better atmospheres, which of course means that all mods better atmospheres depends on actually needs to be available too. So this looks cool. So for instance, texture replacer needs to be available. Then the distant object enhancement needs to be available. I don't know how many actually will need an update to work with 0.24, so I'm gonna check that. Then we're gonna pretty much just stop what we're bring what we're doing in 0.23.5 currently to an end. And as soon as there's no Kerbals flying around anywhere and no missions to be done anymore, that's when we go ahead and actually switch over to 0.24 in case these mods are there. Also, what I want, the only part mod really, Kerbal attachment system and Kerbal engineer. Since I do want Kerbal engineer because I really don't like not having a display here anymore where I see my apoapsis and periapsis. I want also it of course tells me the delta V and stuff in while I'm building the stuff, and of course while I'm flying too. Also it has a radio altimeter, which is pretty nice when landing. Kerbal engineer is something I really want in here. Also, Kerbal attachment system for strutting of docked ships or space stations. Where we don't know. Probably we're gonna get space stations to do here from Mission Control. Maybe they give us a contract to put up a space station. I don't know, around a moon, for instance. Then we need to get all the parts over there. Well, we're gonna see what the contracts bring up. Anyway, also I want a Kerbal alarm clock because I like to have an indicator for transfer windows. Also, it's really nice to have something that makes you not fast forward over nodes, over maneuver nodes. So yeah, that's pretty much all I'm gonna wait for, and then we're gonna have a 0.24 playthrough, so to say. Yeah. So, I'd say I'll see you in the next episode, back in my modded playthrough, and I'm probably gonna talk a lot about 0.24 and in those two, because I actually recorded a bunch of those already before recording this. So yeah, that's also the reason why this is a 0.5 episode and not an actual episode. And I'm bringing this out pretty much as an additional video, because I really, well, I'm doing a lot of pre-recording here. And yeah, in any way, I didn't want to rename all the other episodes, and I didn't know when this was gonna come out. In any way, I'll see you in the next episode, and I hope I'll see you soon back in 0.24. Till then, I'd say like and favorite if you enjoyed, subscribe for more, and until next time, I'm WWEdeadman. Bye!